Good morning, everyone. Okay, why is my video capture not there? I have no idea. And I'm back. Morning. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to be going through review of first playoff BO3, and I'll just pin this. Okay, so as before, I'm going to just be doing a kind of live review this time. Like I did with previous games of ours, it's not necessarily going to be something where I just focus mostly on watching. I'm going to be focusing on making the right notes and all those kind of things. It could be I send clips from this stream. Could be that we do something else, but we'll work it out. So this is the first game from yesterday. Covered the draft during the match, but much more happy with this draft. They had the Poppy and the Elise, which are really flexible, and ended up going jungle support, but they could go top, they could go they can go top, they can go anywhere else. So that made it a little bit more difficult. We were, normally you'd think it would be Elise support, but we knew this guy was playing it a bit in the jungle. And also with the Ezreal, it's much less strong on the support role. So we thought it was actually going to be Caitlyn Elise is one of the things that they could have tried, but they didn't go for that. They went for the Ez instead. And then this pivot into range later on is much better from us because otherwise we would have been in a tough situation, but they're still able to engage on 5. But I think the game is still in a decent spot in terms of the draft. Like I think we have more chance to win coming into this draft than they do. Still have my cold that I'm working with, so you're gonna have to forgive that. We get very defensive level 1 wards. I don't think that level 1 is particularly bad for us, is it? Like Ez is good, but like what can Elise do level 1? And Ornn? I think I don't know. I don't know if we want to be more aggressive on our level 1 normally. That is something we're going to look at because the next game's level 1 I think is a bit silly. Get damage down on mid already. Poppy's waiting for the knock into the wall and Treats is just waiting to interrupt the knock like that. So that's always going to be one of those little trades. Both junglers pathing bot. Elise needs to be more aggressive than she was. And when you're in these competitive games, like you can't just think, oh, I'm going to get some ganks off or something like that. You have to be playing with the waves and with the pushes. So the fact that they have this early push with Ezreal, Elise needs to invade this. But what does she do? She just doesn't. I think she just doesn't time it very well. There's a gank on mid lane. Yeah, so like they just invade and they do nothing with the invade and now they get chunked out. With the prio and they get chunked out. This is really good, by the way. This is something the opposite of what we did before. Like we just chunk this person and we can force Elise to be coming. Okay, no. Right. We then went just super aggro. I forgot about that. Like with Elise coming down, I think we can wait and just fuck with them. We cleansed because we didn't realize it was just going to miss the cocoon. So either way, it's the same as if we hit it. Now we've got a level 4 jungler. Like our jungler was coming down to level 4. I think we can just wait. When they're in this situation, this is already really good. Level 4 jungler is going to come down. This 3v3 now is like so good for us. And it shouldn't be. Now it's just insanely good for us. We just keep the W. We don't go in. think also we lose both summoners here if Elise plays this properly. So Elise should just, if you're going to E, you just E here. You don't need to E onto Matty. That's really silly. So like if you E this way, it's or to this creep is what I thought she was doing when it came into the game. If you just click E on this creep, then you've got double buffs and you're just hitting him here. He doesn't have barrier. So he's just going to have to use both summoners. Whereas instead, I mean, he cancels his movement a few times, goes too far away, doesn't even get the Q, no red buff slow. This gank could hardly be played worse. And you still get cleanse. And now we're in a situation where we need to crash this in. And it's all really wonky. The wave doesn't fully crash. Yeah. So for me, like, I think once we get the good chunk, we just take that. We play with the jungler instead. We don't play as two. That's going to be a big thing going forward. We get a hard shove because it's Corky, pushes really, really fast. Top lane is just chilling. Lisa's top. We can reset and play for these grubs. But they're really strong at this stage. We were talking about this in the game. So we kind of come up and get these like against the flow of play. So we take a plate. On all this time, they're going to be ahead on the spot. But we take a plate for it. And then we're going to come up towards this side. And this is kind of against the power of enemy comp. We haven't based. Elise is based. And it's also Elise. So the fact that we're able to get this because they're just not quite in time, like this is just because they're bad, I think. Like they play the sequence badly, I should say. Because like when they have all this time and they're in a stronger spot, like from their side. Okay, Ezreal bases, and he's going to be like really ahead of tempo, but I mean, he's been punished really hard for it. Oh, it's because Ornn runs bot with no TP. Yeah. I think they should just start this and hold these positions. Ezreal going back towards top lane here, I think is really silly. And they're just so scared, like they just get pushed out so easily. If you're going to go for this, you have to really go for it. But instead, they just like half go for it and let us just push them away. And now we've got 2 grubs for 1 in a situation where they have early game advantage. Now the Corky is fine chilling into the Ornn. There's this bottom crab and dragon to play for. Now here, this is where we go too deep. So already, like here, we have bot. We chunk out Poppy. The question is like, okay, what are we getting for this? Like, do we go for the dragon now that Poppy's chunked and Xerath just stops Poppy's base and we just take dragon? Or we play more aggressive, in which case we should just be running into their jungle. Like we can take this. This has just come up. Are we doing blue or are we diving? This is an important sequence, I think, to look at. Okay, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do this. So obviously streaming with you guys, I want to send the players a clip from this. So I think I have to just, I'm going to record something and then stop it. So let me just set up the recordings and you'll see it all happening in front of you. Okay, I can't set up the recordings. But what I'm going to do instead is I will record it and then I'll just rename it straight away. No, actually, I'm changing my mind. Morning, Sadifo. Yeah, I just think they have to all do the same thing, and I think Matt and Lucas want to play on the waves, and Eric wants to play just for the dive. So they were just not doing the same thing. Here is already something that I think we should talk about, but what I'm going to do is we're having a meeting with the players at 2, so I'm not actually going to record it now, but I will come back and look at it. So level, sorry for the corky noise, level that's bad. I missed that one hit me too fast, so I missed the mute button. Okay, sorry. Level 3, all in bot lane. Bot 2v2 when the jungler is coming. Play together, not 2v2. Okay. Then, right, so we saw this here, like, right, in this situation, so once this chunk comes, we now have choices. This is great. This chunk is really good. We either push in with the chunk and we try and play for these camps. Waves top lane. We know that on this side of the map, like they can't outnumber us, especially with Xerath can just ult across as well. So Ornn is low, Poppy is low. The question is, what do we do with this prio? So while they're doing that, and if you look already, all 3 people are clicking back, while Noe's clicking forward. Then we come here. Now we start ulting, and everyone else starts clicking forward again. Now we see the Elise, and we're just playing like for all these little things. Elise gets the camp still. And now we need to decide between these 2 calls. But we can't dive them if Matt doesn't push this wave. So Matt can't come with them on the dive. It's impossible. It's far too risky to 3v3 dive without a wave. So Matt needs to get the wave in. And both of them get interrupted on that same Poppy W. Okay, so Eric didn't realize that if you flash Q and then W, she can still get W off, and that kills them. That kills them both, or Lucas especially. But for me, the problem is even before this. Like here already, what are we doing with this push? What are we doing with this free time? Because I'd actually think a very interesting call is just invade instantly invade. Like this whole thing is ours, or we try and pressure on this tower, or we try and take dragon. And all 3 options are good. What we end up doing is kind of neither. So yeah, the actual 3v3 here, if Poppy can't W when we've Q flashed as Rel, then Poppy probably just instantly dies here. And this works differently. And then they collapse, and then Matt crashes the wave in and then comes up towards this side. But we just need to be on the same page again. Now we get a solo kill on top. Yeah. Yeah, so either you take Dragon and you can delay Poppy even further because you know where she's recalling, or you invade and you can use the Xerath the Xerath thing to invade, or you can like basically anything that you all do together there is a win. And the reason what happened didn't work, and even if the interaction was different, it wouldn't be as good as anything else, was because we weren't all doing the same thing. Now here, this is a big one from nowhere. He's just completely off tempo with his team. So that's something I'm going to work with him on. Just tempo lines. Really, really simple. It's more important when the towers are down, but like, it's okay to be on the same line as everyone else. You're much safer. But as soon as this is tops in base and supports in base and jungle's there, that means the line is like this and we're stepping really far forward. Very proud of the boys. No big belting for them. Okay, don't watch this review then, because so far we've already got 3 different things that I wanted to talk about with them. Not in a belting situation, just because. And this, I think, is the exact same situation. We're just off tempo. Like, Chachi has to go bot. Matty has to go top. This here is 3vx. 3v4. Up to 4. Horn's there, so we just die. But on the other hand, it's not the worst because we are off tempo with each other. But still. Well, you can go and watch on YouTube and times 2 it if you want, or you can just watch the VOD later. So far we've got 4 different things. 2 times of being off tempo. Firstly, no way, and then secondly, this whole play. And then 2 times about not being on the same page and playing together. Proxy wave. Now we lose grubs. So what we should do instead is when we're in a situation where like people haven't shown on side, we just play poke. We can't overextend here. What do they actually do, by the way, to get there? Because it's weird that one comes. So he's shifting up towards to play for grubs. Yeah, it's a good move, actually. But we make the fight happen. Now we lose grubs for it. We do get a huge amount of tempo on bot lane and we proxy so that we can trade it for dragon. We get vision down on their bot side as well. One TP's bot. Charge is just smurfing. I mean, this is actually like this one is. I don't think it's just Freddy's fault at all. It's kind of weird though that they're playing on both sides of the map while we're not. So the reason that happens is because we take dragon and it takes longer afterwards. Yeah, with the play around nah, I watch it. That's about ready. Yeah, the play around mid. If we just chunk, we play for the chunk until Nar forces someone to show. But this play is because we're resetting now. We're taking this. We're like this sequence. We have to be defensive because they get one chance to do something, and their one play is towards mid. But I don't think this is one is worth kind of talking about or exploring. But then their one chance runs out and they still make another play. We get a double kill. Treat Smurfs it, but... I'm going to have to make Freddy watch Whiplash. Just for the not quite my tempo bit. All over and over again. So we kill them because they end up overstaying after their own play. Like they make a next play after their play. And by that point, it doesn't... They haven't got the time advantage to actually do that. What was this ult for? I was holding bot lane. Oof, almost gets him. And that's the thing with Xerath, you can use that to just pressure any part of the map. One has to ult for bot lane to keep the wave away. Every play revolved around Bobby, whether good or bad. I like that. It really sounds like it's about to be a compliment, and then, yeah, also bad. This I don't really like. We see Poppy there, but we have no Xerath ult. Maybe at least just can't one shot and yeah. She can't one shot and Charge is gonna be there in time. We saw both people top lane, so then we get the tower. This is where it starts getting really bad for them, I think. And then this is where they all die. So Way's top. Held is up. He thinks he has time to go for this, but he doesn't. So he's going to die again. Herald coming up in 50. Nar's going to have a lot of tempo now. They try and play on top side, but they can't. We clear the wave. We can't play for this Herald. So we're going to let them have Herald. I think that's still okay. Game is even, right? So shouldn't assume we're going to get everything. We're instead going to play really hard on this side of the map, play for these two towers. Chachi pushes in while we take the dragon. They then trade that tower on the other side. With the Herald, they get another one. We get a kill. And then we're going to play for this tower as well. Because we were very clear on the timings. So this sequence I like. Now we've got 2k gold lead. Coma threw a broccoli at Faker and almost got his head up. Although from what Reckless said, T1 are definitely the kind of team that tells you good job all the time. Player-led. Coaches being there to support. That's what he said. Okay, that ult was blocked, so... Okay, now he just doesn't flash, I remember that. So we just get a solo kill in top. Bot lane tower's super low, so we can't really hold it. They commit resources on this side, or we commit resources on the other side. But again, we just leave Freddy in a difficult situation. I think we have to play hard on mid-top, and he has to play further back. Like, this is where... But this, for example, is not as important for me as when he's just completely off-tempo with the rest of the team. He knows he's in a dangerous situation, he just doesn't realize how dangerous it is. Yeah, and he just would be fine if he then didn't walk forward here. He should just back off and ult the wave. The important part here is the wave, not poking them. Because in solo queue, maybe you poke them and you pick up a kill, but in competitive, it's just about clearing the wave. Like, if we clear this wave in bot lane, then they don't have a reply while we get, like, 3 towers top. And also, treats wouldn't come this way, so we would just get this tower. They wouldn't get a kill, and we would get 2 towers at least, if not 3. And then it's just like... it's over. And then here, I think they just play way too much again. They just don't understand like where people are and how long they can be here. So they think it's just like Vi by herself or something. So now we just see everybody. And they just absolutely destroyed by that engage. Yeah, what I'm looking for is not to tell him that it's wrong. I'm looking for like trying to understand why he's doing that and what he needs to change in his thinking. So for example, here, it's like, it's not, oh, you just need to live here because I know you know that they're there. I know he knows that people are there. The point is just like, fuck the poke. Like everything is about like clearing this wave. And if you told him that your only job in this situation, is to clear the wave. He just clears this wave. He probably even like, he W's or his second Q is on this. Then they've got no play. But he can also even just come back here and ult it. Like it's literally all that matters is that wave. He clears this wave normally, then comes back and ults the next wave and they're just fucked. Like this wins the game for us. And I think it's just that's the shift that I want to go for. Like, don't worry about the poke. When you're on the weak side, your job in these situations is to clear the wave. You clear this wave and you're absolutely smurfing. You clear the wave and live, and it's like game-winning play. And then here, yeah, like so we call them. And after this, I think it's pretty much done. It's a 4K lead, and we have a good comp. The only thing that happens after this is that we have this really big pause and then we're all really just like happy gaming afterwards. I think that's partly because that's what we're used to in scrims, but also because like when you're 9k up and then you pause, it's this is really silly though. Like we don't need to play for this next wave. I think he wants the item. Doesn't he get the item anyway? So he still has TP. They have to overextend for it. Actually, so it's not too bad. He has the revive. Here we get the dragon as well. This is where the game pauses, and Poppy is just like going on some journeys this game. Like, why is Poppy 1v anything walking into the dragon to try and take it? Hey, Maratona. How's it going? Tries to play very well in this best of 3. Absolutely. I mean, he always plays well. Chachi, I think, is just such a good player. Here we... Yeah, like we just... Are we playing on this wave or are we playing into the jungle? And now we lose Flash and I. But this one I probably won't. I probably won't. I probably won't talk about, because this one like is an obvious like, okay, I just stepped up way too far, and the only thing I can really say is like we just can't step up that far. So it's not the same as the one that played before, because I can give him something for next game. Like next time he's on the weak side for that one like sequence, I want him to just think, if I clear the wave, I'm a god. That's what I need him to be thinking. Whereas this one is just like, pay attention. don't just be randomly throwing shit. And I know he wasn't, because it was right after the pause. Did you see the highlight video on Nord's main channel from YouTube 11 days ago? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think we're going to do them every week or every other week. I'm going to do short highlights on my YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. I've just started working with someone who's going to do short form things. This stage we were just thinking any engage is good. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about any of this stuff actually, because it's still just like, this is all just lag from the pause. We don't need to be this, we don't need to rush this quick. We can do it properly. We can push both these waves in, put the vision much deeper, decide where they're going to come before we actually fight them. That's just way damage as well. And again, we were just silly, playing silly with this already. So I'm probably not going to look at this too much. Yeah, it's a pause, and then the other thing is that it's just like, because it's a snowbally game, it's very hard to not know that you're just going to win no matter what you do. So it's it really does mess up the rhythm. So now we do it properly when we're all there. And then we're just going to come and... push this through kind of easily. Okay. So I'm going to not make videos on this straight away. I'm going to make them after 2. So we'll go to the next game and see how long we have. But there's some interesting things, right? So twice we need to be on the same page. And twice we're off tempo. 3 times we need to be on the same page. Twice we're off tempo. and then once is just how you should play weak side, but that's a little bit different. So that's a real skill that you gradually develop as a coach, and I think that's the part that takes it from just like watching an analysis. It's like if you can actually find a way to group these so that you could work on them as a group, or so that you can talk about them as a group, or anything like that. I think that's really, really useful. So what I'm going to do now is just highlight these things from the game in certain colors. So what can we have? Green is about being on the same page or not. Okay, but the problem is there's no easy, like, okay, I'll just highlight it in the bright highlight. Off tempo is blue because we're doing that already for tempo. Because that's a big thing that I want us to talk about. Like, we still need to get on the same page and work out how we're going to do that. Are you happy with the overall performance from them? Yeah, I think there's things that we can do better. I'm much less unhappy with this one than the other one, of course, because mistakes in this one after the pause is like, look, we're 9k up. We have a better scaling composition anyway. We're absolutely chilling, and we pause for like 40 minutes or something, or 30 minutes. So that's a bit of a kind of a wash for me. Like, it's okay. That's not going to happen without the pause. I think we just finished this game much cleaner. But the next one, there's those same silly mistakes. And this is the thing that you always have with scrims. So in scrims, it's a lot more lax. There's a lot more things going on. And you trick yourself that like, okay, right, I got caught here, but I just wouldn't overstay in competitive. Or I just wouldn't do whatever I did in competitive. But we actually are making those same silly mistakes. We are stepping up for ways when we shouldn't. We are being really off tempo with everyone else and playing for plates and all those kind of things. So we really need to make sure that that stops happening. Okay, so coming to game two. Game two. So this one was a lot closer. I don't like them getting Galio. I think that's really, really bad from us. I think on 4-5, we were deciding whether to go a dive comp or a front to back comp with the Ivan. I think a dive comp works much better against their team, the kind of team that they are. About your notes, Obsidian could be an option to use tags and stuff, but it's quite a powerful program. It takes a little time to set up. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, after this split, I'm going to re-examine programs. I think Notion is the other one to try, which I think can mostly be on a browser. But if I can just tag stuff so that I can look at, I want ways to organize it based on like, okay, a big folder. I mean, a Google Doc is fine, but the thing that a Google Doc I would need is the tagging. So that I can just say look up ones where we're fucking up with tempo, and then I get all the notes from tempo. I think that would be really good. Olivia does look strong into Galio, that's true.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, so for this one, yeah, we were thinking about dive or peel back. Dive is better against their players, but we didn't ban the Galio, so luckily we took this on 4, and we were actually thinking about Nocturne. If we take Nocturne on 4 and then they slam the Galio, then it's tough. Then I don't know what we do. So what we've ended up with is a front to back comp, which is something that we haven't played all that much of, but works well.
30 seconds until
Not entirely sure what the plan is level 1. Like, we don't seem like we're all together. So because we show and we all show, now we lose all control level 1, right? Because they're going to get wards somewhere. We don't know where those wards are, and we don't get wards ourselves.
minions have spawned.
The old man, yeah. I think he's a few months older than me. I'm not sure how many months, but he's summer, right? So he's like half a year older than me. He's not the old man. The old man in mid. Now we know they can play on this side. They can see us. Lucas just has to come around and clear all his camps. We see Wukong. I think the same thing happens again. Okay, we got a good chunk. We get both their summoners. It's the same thing again. It's the exact same thing again. So, same thing. We're not playing together. We're not doing the same thing. This is good for the 2v2 to just fight this, but the jungler is pathing towards this way. He's clicking all the camps. Like Wukong is slower. Ivan gets full clear. He's going to be here level 4 with Ashe no summoners. And then just like here with the Rel going in on the Poppy again. This is just like, okay, this is insane. This is so good for us. She loses both summoners. The wave is fine. It's going to push back out, I guess, slowly. But our jungler's coming. He's going to be there first, and he has an extra level. And you take that, and instead, now the jungler just walks around. And now the wave is in a bad spot. And so because Matty's got no flash, like we just add loads of volatility into this game for no reason when it was in a really good spot for us. And this is the discipline part of scrims that feeds into competitive. And now we're just like, we're trying something here as well. Like I said this in the game, but I think he has to just base here, no? Just base here and match the TP so that you're on time with everyone else. Okay, he does base. She ended up losing minions for that, for basing late. So already things are just much more difficult than they need to be. Yeah, he had tears straight away. So he bought these two things. He would buy the same. Maybe he gets pots rather than refillable, you know? Then here we cooled it, but we cooled it quite late. Like we just don't need to be walking up and hitting this wave. So it's the same thing, it's off tempo. So yes, it's because we didn't cool the roam, but it's also, again, the same thing of it being off tempo. So like sitting under tower and basing and standing in the middle of the lane. So the line at the very least goes like that, but it's in half a second, it's going to be like this, you know, and you need to just be back here. So they're able to get this just like Hex Flash out. And we don't quite die, but now we lose all pressure around mid lane because we just used TP and now we're really chunked. They're going to get grubs because they have push and bot all the time. And then yeah, we just get chunked because while support's moving. Fuck. So because this is all scuffed, then support goes to mid and that bleeds into the next play. Which then bleeds into the next play. So now because of this, we don't have any control around bot lane. And so Nautilus has a free roam to do something. And we're going to base late and they're going to get grubs. And also we get lost control of mid. So it's like because of one thing, we then lose the next thing, we then lose the next thing, we then lose the next thing. And someone needs to just chill out. At some point, someone needs to chill out. Like Matt needs to not step up to that wave and get chunked. Or Eric needs to just say, okay, fine, this play was fucked, so I'm not going to then make a long play somewhere else. I don't have the time to do this in mid. So we traded Galio's flash for like all of this. But also the main thing is just the first one. So because the first one was mistimed, then the next one is mistimed, then the next one is mistimed, then the next one is mistimed. So this whole 6:30 of the beginning of the game from us is not on the same timing because we're all playing on our own timers. And that's where I think actually coming into the next scrims, I think maybe we just need to have Lucas run the early game more. Because we should all be playing on the jungler's tempo normally. And so that's something I want to try. Afterwards, I love the calls that like Eric makes. I think they're super good. But during the lane phase, like we're all playing on our own tempo rather than playing with Lucas. And now nothing is like lined up. Okay, and then luckily Laura's just hard inting. So they give us a kill. But while we're playing top, they're going to go for dragon. Now we get the base. They're already on dragon. We got grubs though? No. We got to kill top and they got the dragon. We got the feats of war though. So we're coming here to defend the camps. And now it's like feeding into the next play, which is then feeding into the next play, and Nautilus dies, but we lose a full wave in mid for it. I don't think we need to lose that wave. But we need a base at some point. We're trying to base now, but it has to be stopped because we are losing our camps. I don't like this, but I'm trying to think of what we can do better. Like, so maybe we just can't show top lane there? Or it's just because bot lane is basing and mid doesn't base? Okay, I mean, he can't get that much, so as long as he has the mana for the fight. But now here, this is again, like, this is overstaying, like, coming back to the wave first. Before we go for the next thing. In Galio and lane French, not just try and chunk. Yeah, I think this is the problem, to be honest. So he's called to stop to see if we need to fight for the camps. Okay, Nautilus is here. He walks over. Okay, it's fine. Go back to mid. It's fine now. Go back to mid lane. It's fine now. It's fine now. Like, now he should be on mid first so that he can play on the next play. Because if he was clearing this already, then he can just mark Galio and just stop Galio coming and it's fine. But because he's halfway there, he thinks he needs to come to the fight because he can't stop the Galio ulting. And now we lose cannon and like 3 minions. We just don't need to. And now we're basing. So now we base with everybody like much closer. Which means our next play now is going to be a really big one. But Vizcachi is now low. But he has TP to match it. So this sequence now from us can be really good. Should be really good. This is the one we want to play for sure. Yeah. Okay. So that works because we're all out and ready and on the play. And we don't lose anything for that play either. And we take the grubs. This is the first time in the game where we're actually like... I think this might be the first time in the game at 11 minutes that we're all actually all ready to play on the same timer properly. And we get grubs. And we would get the fight, we just need to play front to back. Like this already, just don't do that. Just hit grubs. Now we flash forward. And again, go off to the sides. Like, we should just stay together. We work it out, but we should just stay together. If everyone's here, then... If Leona's just here, then when he jumps in, he just dies. We work out that that's what we need to do, but... Here, we're trying to still play for, like, weird fights. Like, as Wukong jumps in here... Or... Yeah, Wukong should just die here, because Leona should be with us. Then we just stun the Wukong... He dies or he flashes away, or we stun the Nautilus, he dies or he flashes away, and then we get the next scrub, and then we're just chilling. We're just completely chilling. But this I don't need to talk about with them, although I will talk about the fact that we need to discuss it earlier, because they've fixed this problem in the game. You'll see our later fights, we don't do it like this. Now we've got Jinx Flash, which is big. The re-engage I don't mind. I don't really like it when it seems like we're re-engaging just for the sake of re-engaging rather than for something specific. Now we get the plate. We reset in top. Like, we don't need to TP back to this mid lane. This TP puts us off time with other people. It's okay though. But I don't like these. I don't like the fact that we so often we stay and we make the next play. Because now we've got 2 people top, and on the other side of the map, we're outnumbered. And these 2 people top did fuck all. Just reset here. Yeah, just reset and then... There's nothing to play for, but it just means we need to be super defensive on this side, and we're not. So we die mid. The thing is, for me, what our problem is that if we got this kill, for example, we would say it's worth to do it because we got the kill. But what we don't see is all the stuff we missed because we went for this kill. It's the same in bot lane, 2v2. We got a kill. We went 1-for-1. Jinx died. Okay, it's worth. But it's not, because if you just wait, Ivan comes down and you get the kill anyway. And you don't die for it, and you get the crash in. So we judge the situation by itself, and we don't judge the situation versus the potential of what we'd have done if we'd just been playing together. So Ash is trying to stop Jinx. Because Jinx is based, technically we can do this. But that means we're just going to be really behind on the next play. We're playing aggressively on both of these lanes while we're also showing someone top. So someone's getting outnumbered. And it's always going to be Freddy. And now we're going to have to click camps while we're clicking them. The enemy gets to come up here. And we still haven't based since this fight, by the way. We haven't based from a fight that started at 11 minutes. And now we die. And we lose a full tower in mid. So it's just a disaster. It's... Let's have a look at it again, because... Okay, it's solo coup greed in a way. You don't need to step up for that. But we haven't based. This is when we come out of base. 10, 37, we come out of base together. Get everyone's items. We get this one pick. We turn this into grubs. Fuck around with the grubs fight. We went over that. We played the grubs fight wrong, but that's okay. At this stage, okay, it's not like we have thousands of gold. Now we flash forward to continue the fight, and we get Jinx flash. And we crash this wave in top, we go to base. We crash this wave in top, we take a plate, we go to base. We go to base in mid, we go to base in AD carry. This is really, really good situation. We can now come back out of the map and, okay, Santorin, Lucas hasn't based, but I don't think he needs one. He can click all his camps now while we're coming out of base, then he can start to collect them again, and then we get a chance to do the next play. The next play, when Jinx has no flash, Galio has no flash, Wukong has no flash, Nautilus has no flash. Like, yes, we've not got flashes on some key carries as well, but we have way more pick tools and we can just stay together as a group. But instead what we do is we extend the play on top side again. We try and fire an arrow down in mid. That's to stop the Jinx, I think. Okay, we teleport back to mid, which already puts us like even more off timer with these people. So we pick up the wave. It's okay to do it. We get the wave, but we have to know that this teleport is putting you off timer with the other people. Then we're trying to make this play top. Then they return on the play top, and so we have to stay. And now this is all happening while this is happening as well bot lane. Like, we're trying to make this play as well. Like, there could be 3 people bot lane, or they could be 2 people mid. We're going to get outnumbered somewhere. But the thing is that while this is happening, we don't get anything on the other side because these people still haven't, like, because Tamas still needs to base. So if you're hitting this and we're ready to make a play on both sides, then it's okay because they collapse on you in mid and you play on the sides, and then they have to leave the mid lane and go to the sides. But it's like the opposite. Like, we know where Nautilus is. We shouldn't dive to this, sure. But I also think, like, we just should be ready to be playing. Because it's not even the death that is the tragedy. The death doesn't mean a full tower dies in isolation. It's not his fault, though. This is my point. So this death is stupid. He shouldn't die. Sure. But we don't lose this tower because he dies. So we make this play on bot lane. But because we've got no one to come back to defend this. Because like we're all just on the back foot. So this full tower dies. I don't think the full tower dies because of him. I mean, maybe they take it slower, right? Because he's just 1v3 defending. That would be different. But we also are just not, in this game so far, like we're just not all there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, look, he shouldn't die and it costs loads. But I still think if he's in this situation, and if we've never made this play top, and we reset now, and we come back out on the map together, then the fact that Jinx is here, it just fucks everything for them. Because we'd be ready to play with Jinx having to be in base. And we can be aggressively playing somewhere like on one of these sides, or we can go into their jungle or whatever. And then if you're here, then you're just off tempo again. So I guess technically, like we're just all off tempo. Like, yeah, he should just leave. He should just push this in and leave. But we also would have more active stuff that we can do than this play in top lane. Isn't the core problem at top lane base? Yes, I think so. I think we need to base together. So it's bad as a death, but it only looks this bad because we're also all like not playing together. But my point is that this play in top lane, I think, is much worse than just Jinx. Because Jinx overstayed, the fact that we all overstayed didn't really cost us that much. But if we'd have based properly, then the fact that Jinx overstays should have cost them loads. And it just makes the game really volatile again. And so there are windows that open to be caught. And it's Nautilus Hex flashing in your face. And now we lose this tower. I didn't see in the game how fucking close that was. If he dies here, we lose another tower, right? Jesus. Same thing again. Like, what do we need to defend this wave in mid? But also, like, if we're doing this thing, then we have to be super defensive. I also think this can be really dangerous. Like, they can also just go towards top instead. This can be 5v1 in top tower too. But it's not, so they go to mid. He knows he needs to clear the wave, but he needs to come back further back, and we also need to be much more coordinated as a team. And just this E, I think, is bad. I think even with W, you still die here. How much do I need to pay you to read an audiobook with your soothing voice? Not much. I think I would enjoy reading an audiobook. But also, I need to wait until I can breathe through my nose again. So we go too far forward. Then we do start to get more control of the game again. Now we're talking about, okay, what do we need to do? Like, when are we strong? Like, what are the spikes and all those kind of things? And here we're just like running out of stuff to do, or what? Jinx has both summoners. And we're just... You see Galio bot. He has teleport. Rumble is top. He has teleport. We don't have teleport. We can't play super aggro on this mid wave. So it's just a random fight that's starting. And we both die for it. HD video is using Anivia top to Gragas. Okay, I might have to watch that as one of the games. Yeah, I mean, we just all die here. Like, I don't know what we'll even see here. If you want to play super aggro with this, like, we need to play less aggro 2v2 and 1v1 so that we can play more aggro as a team. Because on this wave, if you want to invade, then this is really good. You know, like, we have Prio in top, we have Prio in mid. We're going to clear this wave first. We can just all come in here and try and make a fight happen. If we want to make a fight happen, that's how we should do it. Like, on this wave, she has both sums. Just go in here and meet up with the rest of your team and play front to back. But instead, we're like disjointed. And we end up all dying. And we lose top tower as well. No, I don't think there's any way this works. They've got Galio who can run to like here and ult as well. He'll be there like as quick as TP anyway. Like, if Anivia starts TPing here, then Anivia just dies too. By the time Anivia arrives, Jinx has reset and Anivia's dead too. But even then, it's just not a good play. Like, there's no version of this which is the best version of this play. I think we just think she's too far forward and she's not. But we're not ready to fight on that wave. We are ready to fight in this jungle if we then push through and go into the jungle. This part is really big. The fact that he lives here and doesn't even need summoners, this is really, really good. Is it this one? Oh, okay. Maybe it's the next time. So we clear this wave. Then we base. Then we come out all mid together. But even here, like, one person is stepping up to poke Jinx on the wave and everyone else is running away. Like, we didn't get any Jinx summoners last time. So just, like, clear the wave. Jinx cleanses. Stun comes through. Freddy's dodge was earlier, 16, 17 minutes into the game. The one around bot lane. Or do you mean this thing in mid? Here, because this is not a dodge. this is like... He's like a millimeter away. I don't think he knew Nautilus was there, and he's like a millimeter away. Okay. And like here, we don't have Leona again. Like, so Leona's going to go and take plant to heal back up. But if this is the wave that we're threatening and diving, then we need to all be together. Yeah, on bot turret with the when he plays the cross map. I don't think we've seen it yet. If I miss it, then I'll come back. So he is here by the time the wave comes, so it's okay. He gets more health. So this was the part that this was like game saving comms, by the way. At this point in the game, 19 minutes. Here. This was like absolutely game saving. We're still strong on 2 items. Now we force something to happen. If someone finds the timer, then I'm happy to go back and enjoy it. But the way that we force, I think, is not ideal. Like, we need to get this wave in first. This is the time where, like, okay, now you just wall behind and we just ult her and stuff like that. But it still works because we're forcing at the right time. And we're playing all together and we're all ready for it. So 2 times, like, we're all ready and organized on 2 different timers, and they both go really well for us. This one, like, saves the whole game. From here on, I think it's all, like, not plain sailing, but, like, we know what we need to do, and we actually start doing it. Now we're pushing bot, but this time it's better because they're also pushing mid. So if someone collapses bot, we take mid tower. So we do get the tower. And we collapse across. And we get the kills. $16.40. Yes. Okay, perfect. So what was the sequence around here that led up to this situation? Okay, right. So there's the shit going on here. So that by the time we recall, they're going to get a chance to push this deep and go to a side. And I'm already sweating on the co-stream. Like, this is already tough. The fact that he lives there where they all come is perfect. Okay. Thanks for finding that. So now we have Ashe not there. We need to be clear about what we're playing for. I think we go through mid and up in towards the Ashe. Galio's not there as well, but he does have TP. Like if Galio is TPing now, then this fight in mid is bad. Surely. Like if Galio could already be TPing behind us. They'd see Ashe. Whereas what we should do instead is now we should go towards top. So as Matty shows top, okay, we have Atakan, I guess, but still, like, I would like to play properly. Maybe we shouldn't play properly. Maybe just not having maybe having Atakan is enough. Because I think they should TP behind us and kill us all here. But they just don't. They just don't go for it. He should just kill this tower or TP. And instead, he doesn't kill the tower or TP. Like, he can be here now. What he should do is, he should be TPing in now. And then as we retreat, then you rumble ult. Either way, you rumble ult. And then it's really hard for us to play. So where did Rumble? Where did he TP? He's going to reset and then TP? Where is he TPing? He's TPing here? Okay. Okay. At that stage, he definitely should just ult and not TP. This is really weird. We get a kill. Come back towards Baron. And then this was just too far into the choke points, which are really, really strong against Rumble. But I think this one's like not a big deal to go over or anything like that. Yeah, so he flashes treats in even deeper. But the chunk is good, and so we're still able to just like siege with this comp. It's really obnoxiously strong. There we get the dragon. Rumble's going to push all the way bot. Come back out, we rinse, repeat the same thing, and think we win. Same again, like we're resetting as we're playing very aggressively for this wave. And so they could all be here. They are all here. They just mess up the engage. From their point of view, Anivia is showing bot. This next wave, we have to be scared. Okay, they don't know if Lucas is basing or not, so as far as they know, it's 4v5 here. It's not too bad, actually, because Lucas bases out of vision. Nivea top, someone said. You can't R from that range, though, can you? He flashes to get ready in range of Q. He can't flash twice, luckily. Yeah, I don't think that's our range, is it? Because it's max Q range. So Matt's trying to space. Is he? Tragedy. Like, they don't know Lucas has gone back to base, but I still don't like this wave. And can he flash back over this wall still? Or are we just all dead on here? You think? Okay. So again, we need to just be more organized on like actually play like what waves are we playing on, because this one we cannot. So we have to give this and let them push it back in high, and then we play on the next wave when we are actually already on it. And also, like, they shouldn't be like if Nautilus is going to flash, they should all be ready to be flashing to fight on this wave. And they also shouldn't all just come from the same direction. So like here, if you're going to play on this, like you can come over here. Like you can even be going around this way. Like we can just be playing on. It's just hard. Okay. I don't remember all the comms. I literally cannot breathe through my nose. And then we chase Galio. We catch them doing the same thing that we were not caught for. He's just stepping too far. He gets hit by slow. Yeah, then we kill them all. Okay. Move speed from Shrellies. So Lucas has the Shrellies. Okay. Still, I think there's a lot of good, useful things that we can take from these games. Things that we already knew that we needed to work on, but there's just like clear examples of them. Let me just organize the ones that we had before. What did I say? What did I mean in 9 minutes? Come back to the wave first. Oh, yeah, sorry. In mid. This one's just for Freddy. So 11 minutes and 19 minutes 45 are both like really good from us. Like we get fully organized to play on both those timers. We're all ready and reset to play on both those timers. And they're one where we kind of restabilize the early game before the and we would get all grubs and stuff before the kind of disaster bits around mid. And then the one at 9:45 like is just fully game saving. This is where we like just completely stabilize the game. And if you know the gold as well, like this is even better because it's absolutely right cool. Even though we're behind, we're strong now, and so we play like we're strong now. And as silly as it sounds, like hitting those windows at the right time is how like MOBAs work at the top competitive level. I don't know if anyone saw the what was it? What's the company that makes like AlphaGo and stuff like that? And Chess Zero and all those kind of things. But they made a bot to play against a Dota team. So it's AI versus Dota players. And there's loads of problems with it. I won't go into all those. But the thing that was a really interesting takeaway is they had an assessment of whether it was gonna win. And in one of the games, it was like it thought it had a 60% chance of winning, and then a 70% chance of winning, then an 80% chance of winning, then a 90% chance of winning, that kind of thing. And then in the other game, it was playing a late game competition, and it was like it was like 51% chance of winning, 52%, 53%, 54%, 90% or something. So like in both cases, it was like the first one, sorry, wait, let's start that again. I messed that up because I got the first one wrong. So there was a chess AI playing against Dota players, and there were loads of problems with the way it was all set up, but that's not the important part. The important part is it basically hit Windows super, super, super hard. So they had an evaluation that they could ask it, they'd message it, like, what's your chance of winning? And in the early game composition, it was like, okay, I have a 50% chance of winning, a 55% chance of winning, then like a 90% chance of winning, and then it literally made a play happen like straight away. And in the late game composition, it was the same. It was like gradually going up until it hit a certain spike, and then it was like suddenly massive. And that's what we're doing here. This is the time where this gold lead doesn't matter because we're stronger. We've got 2 items, 2 items, 2 items. And we play on this really hard, and we're actually all ready to play already on these waves. So even though the play happens not perfectly, because we're making it happen in the right window, it's really, really good for us. But still, early game, we need to have like one plan, one idea of what we're doing. And we are quite often like off tempo. Okay. I think it's okay. Next opponent is Verdant. Yep. So we play Verdant again in 2 weeks. Then we play straight away, probably Lost Ratones, but whoever wins out of the other side. So it's next week is nothing. The week after that is Wednesday against Verdant. Whoever wins plays on Thursday as well. So it would be best of 3 into best of 5 the next day. All on new patch, all with Mel. Then if we were to win that, we'd have another week off before the final week. Actually, if we lose it either, we've still got another week off. Then it'll be going to the final weekend. Cool. All right, that's going to be it for now. I need to take a bit of a break and plan what we're going to do for this meeting, and then we'll have the meeting in half an hour with the players. So, yeah, the group of death, yeah. All 4 of the teams that went through are the teams from our group. So we haven't seen the lower bracket stuff, but potentially Group A clean sweeps Group B. Because I think the lowest team in Group A is also probably favoured against the lowest team in Group B. So it could be a clean sweep of our group versus theirs. That's one of the downsides of not having a proper way to do seeding, because they're seeded based on last year, and yet all the teams are different. So the groups were not balanced. Roddy just throwing for the content. It wouldn't shock me if they lose the best of 5, I'm not going to lie. I think if you throw for content, it doesn't look like that. But we'll see. All right. I'm going to be doing a podcast later with a guy called Matthew Watson, who is a coach who's much more in the academic side of coaching. So not entirely sure what we're going to discuss now. We are going to discuss probably best ofs and also boot camp and how to set up a boot camp and how you set up a workshop and things like that. So that will be at 5 o'clock today, 17 today. It runs about an hour and a half, but of course there'll be VODs on YouTube or anything like that. But thanks very much for watching. Yeah, I did promise I'd play TFT and I still will, but maybe not today. Maybe, okay, I tell you what, I think on Sunday we don't have scrims, so I'm going to do an LEC review into a TFT game. And I might even look up TFT before then, but I can't promise that. So I will see you guys later for the podcast. And after that, I will be doing stuff on Sunday too. So, ya. Thanks for watching.